Hi guys, welcome back, and today I have more than 30 middle grade book recs for you, and these are books that you can read at any age. That is just the age rating specifically, and I absolutely loved all of these books. These were like all 5 stars. I read these when I was like in middle school or like around that age, and I loved these, and I would be willing to reread like all of these. So getting into it, first we have the Dragon Ops duology, and now this duology is amazing. I love it. First off, the Goodreads rating is a 4.9 stars, so starting off, that's an amazing rating, and I absolutely loved these books so much. So basically, you get these 3 kids. They're either like friends or cousins or something like that, but one of their uncles works at a game development place, and they are developing this game where it's like an amusement park. You go to this island, you put on this VR headset, and then you can walk around the island and be very immersed in the game, but they are going to go be beta gamers for that. So they get there, they put on the VR headset, but then they can't take it off. They can't even like feel where it is in the virtual game, anything like that. Then they figure out they can actually die in the game. They can actually get injured and die. And the only way to get out of the game is if they defeat the final boss, which is like this huge dragon. And they also figure out that there might be another person who is actually stuck in the game as well. And the entire story kind of follows them trying to get out. And it is so cool. And the second one has a similar premise, but I'm not going to say really too much about that because that would include spoilers. And I loved this series so much. Then we have the story Thieves by James Riley, and I am not sure if I've ever heard of this book either. So apparently it's a New York Times bestseller, but I have never heard of this book anywhere, but it is so good. So basically, this kid, I believe his name is Owen, he sees one of his classmates from school end up jumping into a book when he's at the library. And so basically he kind of blackmails her, not really, but he's okay, I won't tell anyone if you take me into my favorite book. And she's okay. She thinks her father, who is a fictional character or something like that, might be stuck in that book too, and that's one of the ways Owen also convinces her. And they go in and they mess up the entire plot of the story pretty much, and they're trying to fix it before it comes out of the book into the real world, because if it gets too messed up, it can come out of the book into the real world. So yeah, that is the premise of that book, and there are multiple books in the series. I have only read the first because my library only carries the first, although I would love to read the rest of them, because in the second one, they jump into Narnia, which is one of my favorite books. And yeah, this book was so good. Then a book you've most definitely heard of, Percy Jackson by Rick Riordan. And this book is basically about a kid who figures out he is a demigod, which is a half god, and his father is one of the 12 Greek gods, and him going on a quest to save the world, I guess. And yeah, it's really cool. And if you haven't heard of this, are you living under a rock? But also, it's so good. If you haven't read it, let me be the one who convinces you to read it. It is so good, and I love it so much. Then we have the City of Ember, but really this is the second book in the series because I don't own the first one. This one is The People of Sparks, which I actually did read first before I read the City of Ember, but I like them both. So basically, this world, pretty much, they're in this underground city. You can't see anywhere past the city. It's all dark, and they are convinced they're the only people left on the earth alive. But their food and their electricity and everything starts running out, and you figure out that their stuff was not meant to last that long. They were supposed to already be back on the surface by now. And so this is about our 2 main characters, which was Lena and Dune, trying to help get the people out and figure out a way out of the big cave in the City of Ember, because everything is going out. They're running out of food, all the lights are going out, all that. That was also a 5-star as well, and I hope you all read that. Then getting into some classics, actually, we have The Hardy Boys, and this is basically a boy version of Nancy Drew, where it's just some boys who are solving mysteries. That's basically what it's about. I believe it's two brothers. And then we have more classics. Okay, so actually this is like an entire stack of books, but I'm just going to show you the first 4. So I have the classic covers. I would love to get more classic covers. These are the only ones I have right now. This is The Babysitter's Club by Anne M. Martin, and these were actually all printed in the 1990s. So I'm very proud to have these like old editions. But you can find these on eBay, at your local Goodwill, anywhere. They also do have new cover versions, but I like the old covers more. Honestly, I own 3 of the super special ones, which are just like longer ones, and like more happens pretty much. But basically this is about a group of like middle school girls who decide to start a babysitting business together, and they call it the Babysitter's Club. And basically this is kind of about the little drama that happens between them at their school while they're babysitting, all that. And it is actually so interesting. And I love these books. I actually just read and finished one of these just the other day. And then we also have the graphic novels of the same series. So if you aren't as much into reading and you just like graphic novels more, you also have this option. Then we have the 39 Clues, and I actually could not find the first book anywhere in my house. I don't even think we own it, to be honest. Okay, so basically this series is about a brother and a sister, and basically their grandmother dies, who had been the one who was taking care of them. And at her funeral, she offers their entire huge big family, who are like all at odds with each other, like none of them really get along, but it's like a huge family called the Cahills. And basically she offers them the choice, either $1 million or a clue to then get this like really big thing the entire family's been trying to get for a while, or like this thing that's like worth infinite money or something like that. I forgot exactly how it was worded, but that's it. And basically the entire series follows the siblings trying to find all of the clues, and the rest of like the family all fighting to try to get it. And this series was so good, and I absolutely loved it. I finished it and I still love it. I would so be willing to reread these. And basically that's the series. And then there is actually a spin-off series called The Cahills versus the Vespers, which is actually set after the 39 Clues. And The Cahills versus the Vespers is kind of like all the Cahill family is getting like blackmailed by another like organization or family called the Vespers. And basically so that they don't keep killing off Cahills, our main 2 characters get blackmailed into doing stuff and stealing stuff for them, and they're trying to break their family members out of where the Vespers are keeping them. And those were also so good. I love that series so much. Then getting into some more older books again, I guess. These were actually both bought from my library that were selling them, and I just haven't been able to take the stickers off because it started ripping the cover. But these are the Silver Blades, and this is basically about a group of friends who ice skates, and they are trying to get into the Olympics. In these ones that I have here, the rival roommate, basically she gets into this prestigious ice skating school, and she has her rival ends up being her roommate. That's like, she's always had this rival. And then in Now or Never, she is trying to still be a skater while she got news she is sick from doctors. So yeah, and these are really good. I have actually only read these 2, but I would definitely recommend them. They are so good and I loved them. Now, I did mention the Hardy Boys earlier, but now we have the original Nancy Drew by Carolyn Keene, and this is basically about a teenager, Nancy Drew, and she is solving mysteries, and mysteries seem to follow her wherever she goes, and she's always solving them, and she's really good at solving them. And she's actually like college age, but this is a middle grade book. But I absolutely love these so much. These are all 5 stars. Anytime I see any of these anywhere, Goodwill, a thrift store, anything like that, I am picking these up. Then yet another graphic novel. We have Dream On by Shannon Hale. This is a graphic novel about a girl growing up in a large family. Like, they're not financially stable, really. So this is basically her going through life and coming to terms with the fact that they can't have like all the fancy meals or that, but they don't have to feel bad for not being able to afford stuff like that. And yeah, that's what that's about. I actually really liked this book. I believe I rated this like a 4-star or 4.5 star. It was really good. Then we have the Little House on the Prairie series, and I read this entire series, and it was so good. So this is a classic, but do not be intimidated. It is actually so fun. So basically it follows this girl, Laura Ingalls Wilder, actually. That's the author and the main character in the story. And basically it follows her moving around the frontier and growing up from a child to a woman. And it is so cute, and it's become a classic for a reason, and I absolutely love it. So many other people love it as well. And Little House on the Prairie, which is actually the third book in the series, is rated a 4.21 stars on Goodreads with 302,000 ratings. It came out in 1994, but it's really good, and I absolutely love it. And then, of course, we have, like I mentioned earlier, Narnia. I have 3 of them right here, but we do own all of them. I just had trouble finding them. So this is like a 5-book series, I believe, but I read them all, and they are so good. There are movies, and there are movies about like 2 or 3 of them, but I love the books so much. And this is about 4 children. They're the Pevensey children, and basically they are staying with this dude because the war's happening. They had to go away from their mother to try to stay safe, because, you know, the children gotta stay safe during this war. It's like older times, and they're playing hide and go seek in his like big house, like mansion type thing. And the littlest sister, Lucy, she goes in this wardrobe, and she's transported to like a magical world. And she spends like an hour or 2 there talking to like this fawn, and when she comes back, it's the exact same time. They're still playing hide and go seek, and basically they end up all having to go in there and try to stop the evil white witch who is keeping an eternal winter and help Aslan. So that series is really good. I love it so much. Now, getting more into some modern ones. Oh my goodness, I actually have a lot of old books in here that I didn't realize, but I absolutely loved like the 1990s, 2000 middle grade books, I guess. Then we have Willa of the Wood by Robert Beatty, and this book is so cool. So there is a slight magic system, and I love it so much. Basically, her and her like clan or tribe, they live in like the Smoky Mountains in like a wood cave big dwelling thing. I'm not exactly sure, but they kind of like are elves, I guess, like woodland elves almost. Basically, settlers are slowly like taking over that place because she lives in the Smoky Mountains. Willa, a young night spirit of the Great Smoky Mountains, is her clan's best thief. She creeps into the homes of day folk under the cover of darkness and takes what they won't miss. It's dangerous work. The day folk kill whatever they do not understand, but Willa will do anything to win the approval of the Padaran, the charismatic leader of the Feyran people. When Willa's curiosity leaves her hurt and stranded in the day world, she calls upon an ancient, unbreakable bond to escape. Only then does she discover the truth. Not all day folk are the same, and the magical fountains that have guarded the Feyran for eons are under attack. So it is so good. I love this series. Well, it's a series, but I didn't know it was a series until like a month ago. So apparently it's like a 3 or 4 book series. You really need to read it, but this book was so good and I loved it. I did not know it was a series though. I'm probably going to end up reading that soon, but I loved that book. Okay, then we have a couple books by the same author. We have his older book. We have the Kingdom series by Chuck Black, and this is basically a biblical allegory that goes through the entire Bible in kind of like a fantasy setting with like knights and all that, and it's really good. If you want to read it, you can pause it, but also that's a spoiler because this is like the 6th one now that I think about it. But it's really good. I really like it. It basically starts with like, I can't remember if it starts with Adam and Eve or Moses, but it's really good and it's really allegorical, and I could not put it down when I was reading it. In Kingdom's Dawn, Leonid and Tess, along with all the king's people, must escape slavery by the powerful Lord Phyros. It is so good. Then we have the Star-Lord Legacy by Chuck Black, which is like a sci-fi allegorical of the Bible. It's really good as well. It is sci-fi. I'm reading this right now actually, and basically it is about Dason Lockridge. He was born of royal blood and all his plans are falling into place now that his performance flying the legendary starcraft at the Academy places him as the 2nd ranking cadet in his class. only his cousin, Prince Lyndon Lockridge, ranks higher, but a chance encounter with a lowly StarCraft mechanic shatters his perfect plan. The mysterious Raviel intersects his life, and everything he thought he knew about himself, his family, his planet, and his galaxy seems a lie. Exposed as a fraud and with no one to trust, he must flee the mighty Gyptonian fleet and search for the truth. A truth that will change his life and the future of the galaxy forever, for the immortals are watching. It is so cool. It is definitely a sci-fi fantasy, and I love it so much. There are immortals and everything, but that's one of my current reads right now. It's really good, and I really like it. Also, the cover is so pretty, and it's so pretty. Definitely read that series. Then we have a book that honestly kind of reminds me a little bit of Percy Jackson. This is another one that's kind of one of the few popular middle grade books. This is Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. And this is basically about Sophie, who figures out she is actually an elf. She has been able to hear telepathic thoughts since she was little and she got in an accident. And basically, she figures out that she's really not human, she's elf. And so she goes to live with the elves, and then she figures out basically someone planted a bunch of like illegal stuff in her memories, like that the elves aren't like supposed to know or something like that. And basically she's trying to unlock those memories so she can help the elves, and making a lot of friends along the way, going to like a elf academy. It's really cool, and I really liked it. Then for the younger middle grade audience, but honestly I still read these, they're so cute, we have The Magic Treehouse, and this is basically about two siblings who find a magical treehouse that can take them to anywhere they say they want to go, like while they're in the treehouse. And it's so cool. It's a brother and sister, and they go so many places. So for in this one, they like go in the you can see what this one's about. Like, they go to so many places. Like, they meet Scrooge at one point, I think. Like, they can go in books and stuff like that, too. Then we have another one for our younger middle grade audience. We have the A to Z mysteries, and I just have the I to P. But basically, this is also about a group of friends solving mysteries around their town and finding stuff that is mysterious and figuring out the mystery behind it. And it's really good. There are, I believe, 26 of them in the series because there's 26 letters in the alphabet. And it's really good. I really liked them, and I read them really quickly. Then we have Palace of Mirrors by Margaret Peterson Haddix. And basically, this girl, she's been raised her whole life to know that one day she would go on the throne and like take the place of the princess, and that the princess on the throne was really just a decoy so that she wouldn't die when she was growing up. And basically, then the time finally comes that she's going to go up there, but then the princess is not letting her like take the throne back, and the princess apparently knows nothing about this, and it's insane. Basically, that's it. They're going on the journey to the castle and figuring out what really happened, and turns out there's a lot of lies surrounding this plan that they had come up with to try to keep the actual princess safe. And yeah, it's so good. I love it so much. So that is all of my middle grade book recs that I have physically. So now for some that I do not own physically. Starting off, we have the Rooftoppers by Catherine Rundle. And I believe this is a book about a girl in search of her past who discovers a secret rooftop world in Paris. Everyone thinks that Sophie is an orphan. True, there were no other recorded female survivors from the shipwreck that left baby Sophie floating in the English Channel in a cello case. But Sophie remembers seeing her mother wave for help. Her guardian tells her it is almost impossible that her mother is still alive. But almost impossible means still possible, and you should never ignore a possible. So when the welfare agency writes to her guardian threatening to send Sophie to an orphanage, she takes matters into her own hands and flees to Paris to look for her own mother, starting with the only clue she has, the address of the cello maker. Evading the French authorities, she meets Matteo and his network of rooftoppers, urchins who live in the hidden spaces above the city. Together they scour the city in search for Sophie's mother. But can they find her before Sophie is caught and sent back to London, or more importantly, before she loses hope? Then we have the Knights of Arithtra, which I don't own. This is basically individual stories of the knights that live in Arithtra that are from the Kingdom series. Then we have the Forget-Me-Not Summer, which is the first book in the Silver Sisters by Layla Howland. And this is perfect for like fans of like the Penderwicks and One Crazy Summer. Sisters Marigold, Zinnia, and Lily Silver can't wait for summer vacation. Zinnia, 11, has plenty of time on her hands and will most likely spend it in Marigold's shadow. Marigold is going to try to get cast in a hit TV show, and though 5-year-old Lily may look like an angel, she has a knack for mischief. But the sisters' summer plans crumble when their parents send them to visit their Aunt Sunny on Cape Cod. Small town life is not what these LA girls had in mind, and they must adjust to sharing one room and living without a TV. Eventually, though, Aunt Sunny, along with her cheery attitude and delicious brownies, wins them over. Before they know it, the girls are cracking lobster shells at clam bakes, making new friends, and even organizing a local talent show, all while learning how to band together as the strongest version of themselves, sisters. And this is so cute. It's like 3 sisters, and I really love this. Then we have Air by Monica Roe, and 12-year-old Emmy is working to raise money for a tricked-out wheelchair to get serious about WCMX when a mishap on a poorly designed ramp at school throws her plans into a tailspin. Instead of replacing the ramp, her school provides her with a kind but unwelcome aid, and seeing a golden media opportunity, launches a public fundraiser for her new wheels. Emmy loves her close-knit rural town, but she can't shake the feeling that her goals and her choices suddenly aren't hers anymore. With the help of her best friends, Emmy makes a plan to get her dreams off the ground and show her community what she wants, what she has to give, and how ready she is to do it on her own terms. And it is so good. It is this author's debut novel, and this girl also, she does have a little small business, the girl in this book, and it was so good. I love it. Basically, her small business is how she is trying to save up for the wheelchair by herself, and basically she is wanting to do it herself and not feel like it was just given to her. And then we have the Spiderwick Chronicles, which, if you have not heard of this, like, what are you doing? It's so good. So basically, if you have heard of the Cruel Prince series by Holly Black, this is like a middle grade book that was written by Tori D. Tizerlizzi and Holly Black, and it was so good. So after finding a mysterious handmade field guide in the attic of the ramshackle old mansion they just moved into, Jared, his twin brother Simon, and their older sister Mallory discovers there's a magical and maybe dangerous world existing parallel to our own, the world of fairy. The Grace children want to share their story, but the fairies will do everything possible to stop them. And it was so good. I loved this, and it was definitely a shorter story, but I loved it. I did not mind how short it was. This is a series, and I had so much fun with this. Then we have the Star Darling series. Okay, and do not be like scared off by these covers. They're actually really good. 12 very special students have been selected from this year's class to reclaim the wish energy that powers their beloved planet, Starland. The Star Darlings, as they are known, take classes where they learn how to grant the wishes made on birthday candles, shooting stars, dandelions, wishbones, and coins tossed into fountains, just to name a few. Their top secret mission will take them to Wishworld, known in some places as Earth. There, they will have to find the wisher and figure out how to grant the wish before time runs out and they are stuck in Wishworld forever. And then Sage is like the first Star Darling that's like going to... And Sage is the first Star Darling that is going to Earth to grant a wish. And basically, this was really good and I love it. The stakes are a little raised and I love it. Apparently, it did become like a Disney TV show, but I watched the trailer and not gonna lie, the TV show sounds really bad quality, but the books were really good. Then we have Omega City by Deanna Peterfriend. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Gillian Seagrit doesn't listen to people who say her father's a crackpot. His conspiracy theories about the lost technology of Cold War-era rocket scientist Dr. Ulysses Underberg may have cost him his job and forced him to move to the middle of nowhere, but Gillian knows he's right and plans to prove it. When she discovers a missing page from Dr. Underberg's diary in her father's mess of an office, she thinks she's found a big piece of the puzzle, a space-themed riddle promising to lead to Dr. Underberg's greatest invention. Enlisting the help of her skeptical younger brother, Eric, her best friend Savannah, and Howard, their NASA-obsessed schoolmate, Jillian sets off on a journey into the ruins of Omega City, a vast doomsday bunker deep inside the earth. But they aren't alone inside its dark and flooded halls, for while Jillian wants to save her dad's reputation by bringing Dr. Underberg's secrets to light, there are others who will stop at nothing to make sure they stay buried forever. I rated this really highly, and on Goodreads it is a 3.91 stars. Then we have A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle, and basically this is the story about how Meg and her brother Charles Wallace and their friend Calvin O'Keefe go on a dangerous and extraordinary adventure to find their Meg and Charles' father, who disappeared many years ago when he was experimenting kind of like on time travel or like realm travel type thing. And it was so good. This is also a very popular series. I've read the entire series. I would definitely recommend this. It is so good. Then we have the Dork Diaries, which is like half graphic novel, and basically it's about a girl going through middle school and all the drama that happens in middle school, and this is basically her diary, and it is so cool. I love her illustrations and just all her thoughts. They're hilarious. If you also want a good laugh, read them. And like at one point they become like superstars and like go to Paris, and like another point she's becoming like a ice skating star. All this stuff, it's really cool. I really loved it, and the illustrations and the writing are just really cool. So yeah, it's really funny. Then we have the Bookshop of Dust and Dreams by Mindy Thompson. It's 1944, set in New York, and Poppy's family owns and runs Rhyme and Reason, a magical bookshop that caters to people from all different places and time periods. Though her family's world is ravaged by World War II, their customers haul from their past and their future, infusing the shop with a delightful mix of ideas and experiences. The shop runs on a set of rules handed down from one generation of bookseller to the next. With their cardinal rule, they're most strict. Shopkeepers must never use the magic for themselves. But then Poppy's brother's best friend is killed in war, and her brother wants to use the magic to save him. Young Poppy is caught between her love for her brother and loyalty to her family, all while knowing that her brother's actions could have devastating consequences that reach far beyond the bookshop, feeding an insidious, growing darkness. And this book was so good. I love it. It's really good. Then we have City Spies by James Ponti, and Sarah Martinez is a hacker. She recently broke into the New York City foster care system to expose her foster parents as cheats and lawbreakers. However, instead of being hailed as a hero, Sarah finds herself facing years in juvenile detention facility and banned from using computers for the same stretch of time. Enter Mother, a British spy who not only gets Sarah released from jail, but also offers her a chance to make a home for herself within the secret MI6 agency. Operating out of a base in Scotland, the City Spies are 5 kids from various parts of the world. When they're not attending the local boarding school, they're honing their unique skills, such as sleight of hand, breaking and entering, observation, and explosives. All of these allow them to go in the world of espionage where adults can't. Before she knows what she's doing, Sarah is heading to Paris for an international youth summit, hacking into a rival school's computer to prevent them from winning €1 million, dangling 30 feet off the side of a building, and trying to stop a villain, all while navigating the complex dynamics of her new team. No one said saving the world was easy. And so basically it's about like a group of kids working for the British government that are spies. It's really cool and I really love it. It's a whole series and I love the entire series. Then we have Princess Academy by Shannon Hale, and Miri lives on a mountain where, for generations, her ancestors have quarried stone and lived a simple life. Then word comes that the king's priests have divined her small village the home of the future princess. In a year's time, the prince himself will come and choose his bride from among the girls of the village. The king's ministers set up an academy on the mountain, and every teenage girl must attend and learn how to become a princess. Miri soon finds herself confronted with a harsh academy mistress, bitter competition among the girls, and her own conflicting desires to be chosen and win the heart of her childhood best friend. But when bandits seek out the academy to kidnap the future princess, Miri must rally the girls together and use a power unique to the mountain dwellers to save herself and her classmates. And it is so good. I love this. There's also a little magic system, but it is a trilogy, I believe, and it is so good and I love it. Then we have a series for our like upper middle grade, like right before YA. We have Alana, The First Adventure, which is the first book in the Song of the Lioness series by Tamora Pierce, and overall on Goodreads this is rated a 4.2 from 136,000 ratings, so it's very, very highly rated. I loved this series so much. I honestly think I might be doing a reread really soon because I am in the mood to read this book right now. From now on, I'm Alan of Treebond, the younger twin. I'll be a knight, and so young Alana of Treebound begins the journey to knighthood. Though a girl, Alana has always craved the adventure and daring allowed only for boys. Her twin brother, Tom, yearns to learn the art of magic, so one day they decide to switch places. Tom heads for the Covenant to learn magic. Alana, pretending to be a boy, is on her way to the castle of King Roald to begin her training as a page. But the road to knighthood is not an easy one. As Alana masters the skills necessary for battle, she must also learn to control her heart and to discern her enemies from her allies. Filled with swords and sorcery, adventures and intrigue, good and evil, Alana's first adventure begins, one that will lead to the fulfillment of her dreams and the magical destiny that will make her a legend in her land. And it is so good. I love this. 5 stars. 5 stars for sure. This is a book, if you like action and you like a strong female main character, read this. This is for you. And I absolutely love them. So that is all of the book recs I have today. I had so many book recs. So that was like over 30 book recs. And I really hope you found at least one book you think you will enjoy from this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.